G'day, this is Mission Control Houston. You're joining us now from the International Space Station Flight Control Room, where the Orbit 2 team here are working in tandem with their Russian counterparts on the other side of the world at the Russian Mission Control Center in Koryov, outside Moscow. The Orbit 2 team is being led by Flight Director Royce Renfrew. Here in Mission Control Houston, the space station with its 6 crew members aboard, being led by Commander Gennady Padaka, is now flying at an altitude of about 253 statute miles. It's on a northeastern track across the Southern Ocean just along the east coast of Africa, heading for a pass across Madagascar. In just 25 minutes from now, one of the vehicles currently attached to the space station, the Progress 47 cargo craft, will undock from the complex. It was launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan back on April 20th and docked automatically to the Pirs docking compartment on the Russian segment on the Earth-facing side of the Zvezda service module on April 22nd. It delivered 2.8 tons of food, fuel, and supplies for the station residents to the orbiting complex. That vehicle is now loaded with trash. Its hatch closed and leak checks have been completed. It is now ready to undock from the space station for the first time. The Progress 47 is equipped with the new Russian Kurs-NA docking system. Today's undocking is an exercise to test out that new system. The cargo craft will undock and back away from the space station. After it undocks, the vehicle will phase out to a distance of about 100 miles away from the space station, where it will essentially park on orbit in station keeping to perform a series of tests of the new automated rendezvous system known as Kurs-NA that will allow the removal of 4 other antennas from the previous docking systems and will use less power to improve safety and update the electronics. A final retrograde burn for station keeping is scheduled to occur just after midnight at 12:01 a.m. Monday Houston time. After those initial engineering tests of the new Russian docking system are performed, the Progress 47 cargo craft will then begin an automated rendezvous at 6:38 p.m. Central Time tomorrow on Monday for a redocking to the International Space Station. That docking is scheduled to occur at 8:58 p.m. Central Time. We'll have live coverage of the vehicle's redocking here on NASA television beginning at 8:15 tomorrow night. The cargo craft equipped with the new Kurs docking system will then undock again from the space station for the last time 1 week from tomorrow on Monday, July 30th. That undocking is set for 1:10 p.m. Central Time. The cargo craft on its final undocking will move further away from the space station and park once again for more engineering tests, and then it'll deorbit for its destructive reentry in late August. This is Mission Control Houston. You're getting a live view inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room. The Orbit 2 team here seen in this view being led by Flight Director Royce Renfrew. The Orbit 2 team here is working in tandem with their Russian counterparts on the other side of the world at the Russian Mission Control Center in Koryov, just outside of Moscow. Now just under 21 minutes for the command to begin the process of opening the hooks, or actually 21 minutes for the physical separation of the Progress 47 from the Piers docking compartment of the International Space Station to take place at 3:26 p.m. Central Time. Just 3 minutes before the physical separation, the command to begin the process of opening the hooks that hold the Progress craft to the Piers docking compartment since April 22nd will be sent by command from the Russian Control Center at 3:23 p.m. Houston time. That'll initiate about a 3-minute process to fully open up the hooks that holds the Progress to the Piers, followed by springs on either side of the docking interface that will be commanded to push off one another. And at 3:26 p.m. Central Time, the two spacecraft will separate from one another. And about 3 minutes after the separation, the Progress thrusters will fire in a separation burn for about 15 seconds to create a change on Progress velocity by 0.66 meters per second. That'll begin an opening rate that will allow the Progress to back away slowly and safely away from the space station for the first test of this new automated rendezvous Kurs NA docking system. Again, the docking is scheduled to take place at 3:26 p.m. Central Time in about 19 minutes from now. Meanwhile, the next Russian cargo vehicle, Progress 48, is scheduled to launch from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan on Wednesday, August 1st. It will dock to the St. Piers docking port later that day in a test of an abbreviated rendezvous designed to minimize discomfort for future Soyuz crew members. Progress 48 will deliver another 2 tons of supplies for the station crews. And with all of these activities taking place, another vehicle, the H-2 Transfer Vehicle 3, this is the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency's cargo spacecraft, was launched to the International Space Station just last night. It was launched on time at 9:06 p.m. Central Time. The Japanese cargo ship was launched from the Tanegashima Space Center in southern Japan. About 15 minutes after its launch, the Kunitori 3, or the H-2 transfer vehicle, successfully separated from the rocket and began its week-long rendezvous with the International Space Station. That cargo craft is scheduled to be berthed to the space station a week later on July 27th. The grapple is scheduled to take place at 7:05 a.m. Central Time, 8:05 a.m. Eastern Time. It will be Expedition 32 flight engineers Joe Akaba and Aki Hoshide, who will command the station's robotic arm, the Canadarm2, to reach out and grapple the Kunitori 3 and attach it to the Earth-facing port of the Harmony module. We'll have live coverage of that grapple beginning at 7 a.m. on July 27th. Followed by berthing coverage that will begin at 10:30 a.m. Correction, that is 9:30 a.m. The berthing coverage will begin at 9:30 a.m., 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And the installation process to berth the Japanese cargo spacecraft, the H-2 Transfer Vehicle 3, is scheduled to begin at 9:45 a.m. Central Time, 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. This is Mission Control Houston. You're getting a live view inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room. This is the Orbit 2 team being led by Flight Director Royce Renfrew. With now 14 minutes until undocking of the Progress 47 cargo ship. The cargo craft that docked to the space station on April 20th or 22nd, the cargo craft will undock from the space station and back away. After it undocks, the vehicle will phase out to a distance of about 100 miles from the station, where it will essentially park on orbit in station keeping. It will remain in that station keeping for about 27 hours before beginning an automated rendezvous back to the station for redocking. On Monday, that redocking is scheduled to take place at 8:58 p.m. Central Time. Meanwhile, this undocking and redocking is to test out the new KERS NA docking system. If this testing is successful, it will eliminate 4 antennas of the current Progress docking system. This is Mission Control Houston, with now just 13 minutes to the Progress 47 undocking from the International Space Station here at 3:26 p.m. Central Time, 4:26 p.m. Eastern Time. You're getting a live view inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room, where the Orbit 2 team continues to work in tandem with their Russian counterparts on the other side of the world at the Russian Mission Control Center. The Orbit 2 team here is being led by Flight Director Royce Renfrew, who is overseeing the team in today's activity, the main activity being the Progress 47 undocking. Again, that Progress 47 is now equipped with a new Russian Kurs NA docking system. This initial undocking from the space station is an exercise that will test out that new docking system. If testing is successful, it will eliminate 4 other antennas. Once the cargo craft does undock, it will back away from the space station. The vehicle will eventually phase out to a distance of about 100 miles away from the space station, where it'll essentially park on orbit and station keeping, and then the ground will perform a series of tests with the new automated rendezvous system known as the Kurs NA. Again, this is to allow the removal of 4 other antennas of the previous docking systems. It will use less power to improve safety and update the electronics of the system. A final retrograde burn for station keeping is then scheduled to occur just after midnight at 12:01 a.m. Monday, Houston time. Where it will park on orbit in station keeping for about 27 hours before it is then commanded to begin an automated rendezvous at 6:38 p.m. Central Time tomorrow for a redocking to the International Space Station at 8:58 p.m. Central Time. This is Mission Control Houston, now with just about 8 minutes to undocking of the Progress 47 from the International Space Station at 3:26 p.m. Central Time. Aboard the International Space Station is the crew of Expedition 32. We have Commander Gennady Padaka, shown here in the right center, next to Sergei Revin and NASA astronaut Joe Acaba. The trio had been aboard the International Space Station for 70 days and arriving at the space station just last week. Yuri Malenchenko on the center of the left-hand side here, and next to him on the right of him is NASA astronaut Sunny Williams, and to his left is Japanese astronaut Aki Hoshide. And we are now at just less than 6 minutes away from the undocking of the Progress 47 from the International Space Station. This is Mission Control Houston. Now with 5 minutes to undocking of the Progress 47 from the International Space Station. You're getting a live view inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room. This is the Orbit 2 team being led by Flight Director Royce Renfrew. Is working in tandem with his Russian counterparts in the Russian Mission Control Center. Waiting now just 2 minutes for the command to begin the process of opening the hooks that have held the Progress craft to the Piers docking compartment since April 22nd. And we just heard from the visiting vehicle officer who reported the docking mechanism on the Progress 47 has been powered up. Now with just 3 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston. We are getting a live view inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room. Again, just with 3 minutes to undocking of the Progress 47 from the International Space Station. And we just heard from the visiting vehicle officer who confirmed that the command has been sent to the for the hooks. The hooks are now driving on Progress 47. This is a process that will take about 3 minutes to complete. And as the springs push off, we'll have physical separation. We're now getting a look from the external camera from the Progress, looking directly at the docking port on the Piers docking compartment. As we pass over Russian ground stations now for the next several minutes. And undocking has been confirmed here at 3:26 p.m. Central Time. Again, physical separation of Progress 47 confirmed on time at 3:26 p.m. Central Time as the two vehicles cross over This is Mission Control Houston. Again, physical separation has been confirmed on time at 3:26 p.m. Central Time as the two vehicles flew at about 255 statute miles just over the eastern Mongolia. This is Mission Control Houston. We're getting a look from the external camera from the Progress that has physically separated from the International Space Station. It's just about a minute. The Progress thrusters will fire in a separation burn for about 15 seconds to create a change on the Progress velocity by 0.66 meters per second. This is Mission Control Houston. The Progress thrusters have fired. The separation burn began. It will last about 15 seconds to create that change on the Progress velocity. Again, that's by 0.66 meters per second. It will begin an opening rate that will allow the Progress to back away slowly and safely away from the space station. Again, this first undocking and moving away from the space station is an effort to test the new automated rendezvous curves in a docking system. The Progress 47 cargo craft now undocked and slowly moving away from the space station. Arrived at the space station back on April 22nd, delivering 2.8 tons of food, fuel, and supplies for the station residents. It is now loaded with trash and is equipped with the new Russian Kurs NA docking system. The vehicle will now phase out to a distance of about 100 miles away from the space station. A final retrograde burn for station keeping is scheduled to occur just after midnight at 12:01 a.m. Monday, Houston time. It then will park on orbit in station keeping to perform a series of tests This new automated rendezvous system known as CURS-NA, if the tests are successful, it will eliminate the need for 4 other antennas of the docking system. This is Mission Control Houston. We have the International Space Station is now flying at an altitude of about 254 statute miles. The one of its visiting vehicles, a Progress cargo ship, Progress 47, has just undocked from the station for the first time. The undocking of the 2 vehicles occurred on time at 3:26 p.m. Central Time, as the 2 vehicles flew at about 255 statute miles just across the eastern Mongolia. The station is now on a southeastern track coming across the North Pacific Ocean. This is Mission Control Houston. You're getting a live view inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room. Seen here is the Orbit 2 team that is being led by Flight Director Royce Renfrew. The team here just confirmed in the official undocking of the Progress 47. The automated undocking occurred on time at 3:26 p.m. Central Time as the two vehicles flew over eastern Mongolia. Progress 47 that had arrived to the International Space Station back in April is now phasing out to a distance of about 100 miles away from the space station, where it will park on orbit in station keeping. The station keeping, a final retrograde burn for that station keeping is scheduled to occur just after midnight at 12:01 a.m. Monday, Houston time. That will allow a series of tests of the new automated rendezvous system known as the CURS-NA, which will allow the removal of 4 other antennas of the previous docking systems. It will use less power and improve safety and update electronics of that system. The progress thrusters just after undocking, about 3 minutes after the separation, they fired in a separation burn for about 15 seconds to create that change on the progress velocity by 0.66 meters per second. The next burn is not scheduled for another couple of hours. Again, that Progress 47 will continue to phase out to a distance of about 100 miles away from the station. At that 100-mile mark, a command for station keeping will be sent, where the Progress 47 will park on orbit for a series of tests to that new automated rendezvous system known as the CURS-NA. It'll be there for about 27 hours before it begins a automated rendezvous at about 6:38 p.m. Central Time tomorrow to redock to the International Space Station. That docking of the International Space Station is scheduled to begin tomorrow night to take place tomorrow night at 8:58 p.m. Central Time. Getting a live view outside the International Space Station.
Sub Moscow, MKS, Volga 2.
MCC Moscow, this is ISS on Space to Ground 2. Go ahead.
А вы нас не слышали УКВ, да, Антон?
Did you not hear us over UKV, Anton? No, we did.
О, раз 10 запросил я вас.
Because I called about 10 times. Well, the photos are on the OCA, and the name of the folder is TKG 4808. Okay, anything else?
КВД.
For us? Do you want me to switch the KVD valve? Should I close it? Yes. I guess that's it then for now. Yes, Gennady Ivanovich, good night, and we'll talk to you soon. And thank you for your work. Okay. Good luck. Bye.
This is Mission Control Houston again. Progress 47 confirmed. undocking at 3:26 p.m. Central Time as the International Space Station and the Progress flew just across the eastern Mongolia. Progress 47 will continue to back away from the space station to about 100 miles, where it will then be commanded for station keeping to perform a series of tests of the new automated rendezvous system known as KURS-NA. Meanwhile, also en route to the International Space Station, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency's H-2 transfer vehicle launched on time to the International Space Station at 9:06 p.m. last night. It launched from the Tanegashima Space Center in southern Japan. The Kunitori 3, or the H-2 transfer vehicle, will now begin a week-long rendezvous with the International Space Station. It is scheduled to arrive on July 27th. Expedition 32 engineers Joe Akaba and Aki Hoshide will command the station's robotic arm. This is the Canada Arm 2. It'll reach out and grapple the Kunitori 3 and attach it to the Earth-facing port of the Harmony module. NASA television coverage will begin at 7 a.m. For a scheduled 8:04 a.m. grapple, and berthing coverage will begin at 9:30 a.m. This is Mission Control Houston. We're getting a live view outside the International Space Station as it flies at an altitude of about 250 statute miles. It is on a southeastern track across the North Pacific Ocean. The Progress 47 that had arrived at the International Space Station on April 22nd has officially undocked from the station. This is its first undocking for a test of the new KURS-NA docking system. Again, docking was confirmed today at 3:26 p.m. Central Time. The Progress 47 will continue to phase out to about 100 miles away from the space station, at which time a final retrograde burn. You put it at station keeping will occur about 12:01 a.m. Central Time. Where it will remain for about 27 hours before beginning its automated rendezvous back to the station for redocking on Monday night. This is Mission Control Houston. You're getting a live view outside the space station cameras. You can see the Progress 47 vehicle that just undocked from the station at 3:26 p.m. Central Time. You can see it there on the left-hand side of your screen. Progress will continue to phase out to a distance of about 100 miles away from the space station. At which time a command to a final retrograde burn to put it in station keeping, keep it at that 100 miles distance from the space station will occur at 12:01 a.m. Houston time on Monday. It'll stay there for about 27 hours before the automated docking system will begin to bring it back to the station for a redock. This undocking and redocking is an exercise to test out the new Cruise NA docking system. If the testing is successful, it'll eliminate 4 additional antennas of the previous docking system. Meanwhile, en route to the International Space Station is the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency's H-2 transfer vehicle that was launched at 9:06 p.m. Central Time on Friday from the Tanegashima Space Center in southern Japan. It is then scheduled to arrive at the International Space Station at on next Friday, at July 27th, when Expedition 32 flight engineers Joe Akaba and Aki Hoshide will command the station's robotic arm to reach out and grapple the Konatori 3 and attach it to the Earth-facing port of the Harmony module. This is Mission Control Houston. We're getting now a replay video of the undocking of the Progress 47 cargo craft that occurred today at 3:26 p.m. Central Time. This is Mission Control Houston. Again, we're looking at a replay video of the Progress 47 as it was docked to the International Space Station. getting ready to undock from the space station. That undocking again occurred at 3:26 p.m. Central Time today. The Progress 47 is equipped with the new Russian Kurs NA docking system. This is the first undocking of the vehicle. That is to test out that system. If the test is successful, it will eliminate the need for 4 additional antennas of the previous docking systems. The Russian Control Center had commanded from the ground to the Progress 47, seen here in this view, to begin its process of opening the hooks that have held the Progress craft to the Piers docking compartment since April 22nd. That was about a 3-minute process. They fully opened up the hooks, and then it was followed by springs on either side of the docking interface that commanded to be pushed off one another. And at 3:26 p.m., the 2 spacecraft separated from one another. Again, that was 3:26 p.m. Houston time. About 3 minutes after the physical separation, the Progress thrusters fired in a separation burn for about 15 seconds. Is to create a change of the velocity by 0.66 meters per second. That began an opening rate to allow the Progress to back away slowly from the space station for the first test of that new automated rendezvous Kurs docking system. This is Mission Control Houston. You're now getting a replay video of the undocking. You're seeing now the physical separation of the Progress 47 that arrived to the International Space Station back on April 22nd. Physical separation was confirmed at 3:26 p.m. Central Time, as the vehicles flew at about 255 statute miles just over eastern Mongolia. The next burn is scheduled to take place in a couple of hours. The Progress 47 cargo craft will continue to phase out to a distance of about 100 miles from the space station, where a final Progress retrograde burn will put it at station keeping at that 100 miles distance from the space station. That retrograde burn is scheduled to take place at 12:01 a.m. Central Time, Houston. The vehicle, now loaded with trash, will stay at that distance for about 27 hours for a series of tests. These tests are testing out the new Russian Kurs NA docking system. If these tests are successful, it will eliminate 4 additional antennas of the previous docking system. Again, we are looking at video replay of the Progress 47 undocking from the International Space Station. That occurred just about 30 minutes ago. Again, physical separation was confirmed at 3:26 p.m. Central Time. as the vehicles flew at an altitude of about 255 statute miles just over eastern Mongolia. This is Mission Control Houston. Again, we're getting a video replay of the undocking of the Progress 47 from the International Space Station. You can see there in the background the Progress 47 moving slowly away from the space station. Undocking was confirmed at 3:26 p.m. Central Time. The cargo craft will continue to phase out to a distance of about 100 miles away from the space station, where then a final retrograde run will be commanded to put it at station keeping there at that distance for the next 27 hours, and then a series of tests to test out the new Cruise NA docking system will take place before an automated command will be sent for rendezvous back to the space station for redocking on Monday night. The automated rendezvous is scheduled to take place at 6:38 p.m. on Monday night for a docking back to the International Space Station at 8:58 p.m. Central Time. I'm getting a live view inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room. The Orbit 2 team here being led by Flight Director Royce Renfrew, overseeing the activities aboard the space station, and today's undocking of the Progress 47 cargo craft that brought up about 2.8 tons of cargo up to the space station back in April. This is Mission Control Houston. You're getting a live view inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room. Again, the Orbit 2 team here has been monitoring the systems aboard the International Space Station. The team is being led by Flight Director Royce Renfrew, who just oversaw the successful Progress 47 undocking from the International Space Station. Progress 47 and the International Space Station physically separated at exactly 3:26 p.m. Central Time. The Progress 47 will continue to back away from the space station to about 100 miles away, where it will then have a command of a final retrograde burn that'll keep it at station keeping. Again, that is to occur at 12:01 a.m. Central Time on Monday. It will then perform a series of tests to the new automated Cruise NA docking system. And that's a wrap of today's undocking of the vehicle. Tomorrow, we'll be back for ISS update, 9 a.m. Central Time. This is an hour earlier than the regular schedule. Again, ISS update will be 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Then we'll be back for redocking coverage of the Progress 47 at 8:15 p.m. for the final redocking of that Progress 47 at 8:58 p.m. Then also on Monday, July 30th, the Progress 47 will undock from the space station on its final undocking at 1:10 p.m. Central Time on July 30th. And then Progress 48 is scheduled to launch and dock to the International Space Station on Wednesday, August 1st. We'll be back tomorrow for ISS update at 9 a.m. Central Time. Until tomorrow, this is Mission Control Houston.